Hey everybody, welcome back to C.Dat.Guy Review Movies. My name's Christian and welcome back to another round of Quarantine Watch. And just so I'm really aware of what's streaming on the other platforms, I decided to give Hulu a shot. So I started looking through my queue list from 2019 to find a movie that I wanted to see, but never really found the time to get around to it. So the movie I'm choosing today is actually one that came around this time last year in theaters and was actually kind of perfect considering that WrestleMania is just around the corner, or I guess whatever is left of it due to the shutdown. And in regards to wrestling, I was actually introduced to the WWF by my cousin in the late 90s, and I grew up watching the Attitude Era and I ate up everything that it had to offer. And I watched it for a long time. I fell off a bit between 2002 to 2004, but then continued watching it right up until I want to say 2012, 2013, whenever responsibilities started taking over my life. Even though I don't watch Raw or SmackDown as much as I used to, I still try to watch the big events like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, or Survivor Series. And if not, I just talk to my brother because he's the one who's still watching, and I just ask him questions so he can just fill me in on what I'm missing. But because I still find wrestling entertaining, I decided to review Fighting with My Family. I've heard a lot of positive things about this movie, but I wasn't sure if that many people, even wrestling fans, gave it a chance considering it didn't make a huge splash at the box office, but it was enough to be considered successful. I was already aware of who Paige was before this, but just like a majority of the WWE roster, I never really knew the story of how she made it into the scene. And since I had a strong feeling of how this biopic ends, considering the real life spoiler alert of Paige already retired a couple years ago, I was really more interested on what makes her story unique compared to other superstars. I'll be honest, I was hesitant at watching this first because when I was watching the trailer, I only recognized The Rock and the actors who portrayed her parents. But once the movie started rolling, I was getting really invested. Whether you want to call her Paige, Soraya, or Brittany, I think Florence Pugh did a stellar job at portraying her. I talked about her previously when I was reviewing Midsummer, and with her getting an Oscar nomination for Little Women, this girl is the real deal. She's funny, she's dramatic, she's tough, she's determined, and the world will learn of her whenever Black Widow gets released. But seriously, check her out in any of these movies. She's got some serious acting chops. Jack Lowden, who plays Paige's brother Zach, also did a great job. He's just as tough and determined because they share the same dream of making it into the WWE, and he does get a fair amount of screen time, but he doesn't always have that many lines. But we can still see his emotions through his various facial expressions. Vince Vaughn is a nice addition to the cast, and I haven't seen him in a while, and I associate him more with comedies, but I actually haven't seen him act this great dramatically since Hacksaw Ridge. I think he does a great job as Hutch Morgan, as he's being funny, sarcastic, fair, but not too domineering. I also like Nick Frost and Lena Headey as Paige's parents. They're a funny, rough, but caring couple who really want what's best for their kids. And of course, I have to give a shout out to my favorite wrestler of all time, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, for being funny in his small moments. And altogether, the ensemble did really well balancing the comedy and the drama. The story goes like this. Zach and Soraya have been wrestling since they were kids with the encouragement of their parents, and as a family, they run the World Association of Wrestling in their hometown of Norwich, England. They promote and put on shows fighting each other, while Soraya and Zach also train younger students. Their parents asked WWE trainer Hutch Morgan to give them a chance, and they attend a tryout with other wrestling hopefuls. Soraya is the only one chosen out of the group, and adopts the stage name of Paige. Unfortunately, she is unable to convince Hutch to sign her brother, and when she leaves to America to train with the WWE, she unknowingly causes a rift in their relationship. And this is when the movie really begins to take shape. We get to see Paige struggle through the challenges of her journey, which includes workouts, getting along with others, and facing criticism from both Hutch and the crowd. We see her ups and downs while she's separated from her family. Though this movie's about Paige, I feel like Zach gets close to the same amount of screen time as she does, and even though they're in a way experiencing different things, we see them feel very similar about their own situations. We see the ups and downs going through his life as well. Their sibling dynamic is the heart of this movie, and actors are just so believable. And each minor character is peppered in at just the right time to give Paige and Zach more depth and character development. The only real downside to the movie is that there are a couple of sports movie cliches, and some details were inaccurate. However, the latter depends on how much you really care about the history. I personally thought the final scene looked better than how it actually happened in real life. I have to give props to the director Stephen Merchant, who I now apparently have seen every 2019 movie he's been in, for shedding a bit of light on an industry that may not always be taken as seriously and giving it that indie magic feel. The performances are just as strong as their body slams and has you constantly rooting for Paige and Zach, like the crowds in the arena. So for that, I'll give this movie a 9 out of 10. You don't have to be a wrestling fan to appreciate it, but if you like inspiring dramedies or something lighter to watch for your quarantine time, then I say go see that movie. Alright, so there's my review of Fighting With My Family. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments section down below. And go ahead and give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, I don't care. But if you want to see more movie reviews from this guy, go ahead and click the subscribe button right up here. Or if you want to watch another review right now, go ahead and click right up here. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, and be safe out there.